Hello and welcome back to Chopping It Up. I am your host, Lucas Parent, and we are back today. Today we're going to be doing an NBA Power Rankings as we have hit the All-Star break. I'm very excited to watch these games this weekend on Monday, I believe, President's Day. Usually my half birthday, but that's actually today. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up to the top. Bottom team, Pistons. Not much to say on the Pistons. They have 8 wins. They're one of 2 teams with single digits, and they have won some games as of late, but that was prior to trading for Quentin Grimes in exchange for they gave away Alec Burks, they gave away Bogdan Bogdanovic, and of course they moved on from Killian Hayes. So they are lacking some rotation. There's some guys in there that people have never heard of, but this team is just the worst team in the league. But not close behind is our 29th team, the Washington Wizards. This team stinks. They don't play defense. Jordan Poole is, as of right now, the worst player in net offense and the worst player in net defense and the worst player in net overall rating in the league this year. Just a pathetic fall from him, honestly. I hate to see it. He was awesome on the Warriors, but he has not been close to awesome with the Wizards. I don't even know if he's scored 30 more than 5 times this year. 28, I got the Spurs. Spurs would be last if they didn't have Wembanyama. If you just put a replacement player, I don't know if they would have a single win this year. Wembanyama is so special. He's my rookie of the year right now. I had Chet down for the first couple months of the year, but Wemby has really just turned it around as of late, and it's a sight to see. It's a sight to behold. Definitely awesome for him, but this situation is not awesome. So I really hope that they go not all in, but they have a couple picks they can utilize next year, and I really hope this is like a team that's eyeing a play-in push next season. 27. This is the last of like the really just pathetic teams. This is our lowest tier. We'll call this the F tier. We got the Portland Trailblazers. Again, just not good. A couple guys on this team are questionable figures. Like Simons is like a stud, but Scoot Henderson, you don't really know what you're getting from him on a night-to-night basis, and Ayton feels like his heart's not there. Even though he's been having some good games as of late, I'm not sure where this team is going. 26, all the way up to let's say 19. This is like the E tier almost. I don't know if this math is gonna add up by the time I'm done, but this is our E tier, and these teams are all in the same boat. First 3 in the tier are Hornets, Raptors, Nets. These are all Eastern Conference teams that are not going to amount to anything this season and made some deadline moves. The Hornets have looked better after the deadline, so they narrowly avoided being put in the shameful bottom category. They're a fun team to watch, honestly. I have nothing really against them. Raptors have just been on the steady decline ever since trading Siakam and Anunoby. And the Nets are just pathetic. I don't know why they didn't trade anyone outside of Royce O'Neal. This team is not contending. They don't have their own pick this year. I'm not quite sure what Joe Tsai is cooking. Above them, 23, I have the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are actually a very gritty team, as they've tended to be throughout their history. This team has some dogs. G.G. Jackson and a guy like, I'm blanking. No, not Jaren Jackson. Thank you, JT, though. Vince Williams, I didn't have that name written down. Took me a minute, but Vince Williams, a big problem this team faced was when Dylan Brooks was on the floor last year, and then he'd be on and then he'd be off. And when he was off, it was like, okay, we have a wing problem. And that was a big problem they faced because Zaire Williams, who has been getting big minutes this year because there's been a lot of injuries, just couldn't. It's not sustainable as a wing. They have found 2 good long-time wings, and they've locked them up on contracts. These are guys like G.G. Jackson has scored 30 points in games, and he was almost unheard of in the NBA dialogue, at least. 22, I have the Hawks. Again, another middling team. They made no moves, really. Not sure where they're headed. They could be a fun play-in team. They're only 7 games under 500. I believe they are the 10 seed right now. They'd be fun if they made it there. Hopefully they do, as opposed to the Nets. I really don't want to watch the Nets play basketball. Little anecdote, I watched Nets Warriors a couple nights ago, about a week ago. The offense was just so awful. not watch. The Nets are on my no watch list for the rest of the year. 21, I have the Rockets. The Rockets are 24-30. They've been sliding a little bit after they started the season kind of hot. Again, I'm not quite sure what this team does. They're going to be bringing back Van Vliet after the break. They really didn't make any deadline moves. I just don't know. It's, again, middle of the pack team, and they're 12th in the West right now with that record. Play-in does not seem likely for this team, which is disappointing because they have a lot of fun guys. 20, I have the Jazz. Jazz are 2 games, 2 more wins, no more losses than the Rockets. And they're, again, another fun team. I like what they have. They've been sliding recently, too. They just shipped away Olynyk and Ochai Agbaji to the Toronto Raptors. But, again, a lot of fun guys on this team. I thought Lauri Markkanen should have been an all-star. He was not, unfortunately. Definitely a fun, good, like, as Bill Simmons says, like a league pass team, a team you enjoy watching. Will they be contending? I don't know. Hopefully, they get hot and knock the Lakers out of the play-in. That would be pretty awesome, but I don't see that happening. They are armed with a ton of draft picks, so I'm excited. 19, Chicago Bulls. This is the last team in this E category of, like, middling teams. The Bulls might have one of the most pathetic front office situations in the league. I can point to, them signing Kobe White for 3 years, $39 million. That's like the only good move they've made. They didn't trade Drummond. Drummond is going to leave in free agency, or they're going to have to give him like $20 million a year. So they didn't get anything from him. They didn't even trade him. Same thing with DeRozan. Do we really think DeRozan's staying? I'm sure there were offers on the table for him. Didn't do anything with either. Very disappointed in their deadline, and their record reflects their front office forever ingrained in mediocrity. Now we have our next tier. Let's say that this is teams 13 to 18. Starting with 18, this is our, I'm going to skip D tier. I think this might just be the C tier teams, honestly. First off, we got the Lakers. 30-26, 7-3, and over the last 10. And the Warriors are 3 less wins, but they're 8-2 over their last 10. I have these teams pretty much 17A and 17B. They're pretty much the same team. You got an old team, and you do not want to face them in the playoffs. Like, let's say a young team like the Thunder gets them in the first round. That could be trouble. Definitely an interesting series of teams. One thing, Warriors last night brought Klay Thompson off the bench, and I thought that was an interesting move because I figured that if you don't let Klay start, he's going to be taking more shots to prove that he can start. And we know when Klay is forcing shots, it's not pretty. So he did take a lot of shots last night. However, last night, as opposed to the majority of the season, he actually hit his shots. So that was awesome. He had a good game. He had like 35 points. Shout out Keontae George. He also had like 35 points. Warriors ultimately beat the Jazz. 16, I have the Magic. Again, Magic started the season really hot. They've been kind of middle of the pack since, but still above 500, still an upstart group. They've got a lot of good, talented players. Paulo, it's been said before, looks like a mini LeBron. He can pass the rock. I feel like these big men with passing abilities is just really special these days, and he is definitely in that company. They've got Franz Wagner. They've got this pretty big lineup they can play where it's like Suggs at the point, and then Franz Wagner and Paulo and a center of your choice and Jonathan Isaac. It's just so the defense is just incredible. Jonathan Isaac is like deep, like DPOY question mark. He's gonna be an all defensive team this year. He's been incredible. 15, I have the Kings. They are gonna be a good regular season team. We know this. Hopefully they stay out of the play-in, although they are the 8th seed right now, and there's only 6 spots. So I'm not sure where the Kings go. They really didn't make a move at the deadline, and they had some tools that they could have done, but whatever. The Kings are going to be the Kings. This is, as long as they're making the playoffs, this is a success for them. We know they were in the drought for so long. So they're a fun team. They got 2 really good players. Sabonis is averaging about a triple-double a game, which is very impressive. He's pretty much like a mini Jokic. 14, we have the Pacers. They're 31-25. They have dealt with numerous injuries this year, and they're finally starting to get healthy. It's been fun. I did watch them too the other night. They were playing against the Rockets. TJ McConnell had one of the greatest white man performances of all time. So shout out to TJ McConnell, channeling his inner Larry Bird. He had like 17 points in one quarter. Man was going off. 13, the last team I have in this tier. is the Mavericks. They have won 6 straight after their trades, and this is a scary team with Luka Doncic and Kyrie, and now PJ Washington, as well as Daniel Gafford. JT, do you want to say anything about these guys?
Personally, I think Gafford's a beast. I mean, I feel like we haven't really seen anything from Washington. I mean, even though, I don't know, they both, as you know, they both just got traded. Washington has been getting a lot more minutes than Gafford, and I think that's weird. I'm pretty sure 2 games ago, Gafford had like 5 blocks and he had like 10 plus points. I feel like Gafford needs to be put in the game a little bit more because clearly it's more comfortable for him, and I feel like Washington needs to just acclimate a little bit. But I think those guys are going to be scary. I think it might be something kind of like with what the Timberwolves have with C. Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. Obviously, it's not going to be that dominant, but I think it can be something similar if they get it going.
Definitely agree. I did contemplate putting them higher, but the defense is a concern with them. All right, next tier. This is teams 7 through 12 on my power ranking. This is like the B tier championship contenders. They need something to go right for them to win a championship. Starting with 12, the New Orleans Pelicans. This is one of the scariest teams in the league, and it's not because Zion's coming with the dinner bill. It's because they have so many incredible players that can just be spot players. Like Jordan Hawkins can come in for 8 minutes and score 12 points. Brandon Ingram is always hot from the field. It's like this is a scary team. They have a ton of good forwards. Their wing depth is exceptional. And they have a good center. They have a good guard. I'd be interested to see what happens if they match up with a good team. Right now, the 3 seed is the Clippers. That's going to be a very entertaining matchup if we get that in the first round of the playoffs because I think the Pelicans match them very well. 11, I have the Heat. Just for the namesake, they've been there before, Heat culture. They are 30 and 25. Not much to say about them. Above them, I have the Sixers, who are suffering a little bit in Embiid's absence. They are down to being 10 games over 500. Hopefully Embiid gets back soon because he is just one hell of a player, and the team is just lost without him, it seems. Number 9, I have the Suns. They've been really hot as of late, no pun intended, winning a lot of games. The three-man of Beal, Booker, Durant looks exceptional. Yusuf Nurkic is a clown. Moving on. Number 8, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. They have been faulting. They are subpar since Doc Rivers has took over the team. Just lost to that gritty Grizzlies team last night, and it's disappointing to see what's happened. I don't know what's up with the team. The Dame and Giannis, to me, is still a little awkward. They're both great individual players, but I don't know. The depth is just not there, and Doc Rivers is not playing the young guys. Andre Jackson has looked really good this year, and Rivers has, DNP'd him. So I don't know what's up with that. They would be a great team to add, a Bones Highland or a PJ Tucker, one of the Clippers guys that's disgruntled and got sent home before the All-Star break. The Bucks would have been perfect. Hopefully, if PJ Tucker gets a buyout, he goes and signs with Milwaukee. 7th, last team in this B tier, I have the Cavaliers. Fun team. They've been extremely hot as of late. 2-guard rotation, I'm not sure if it works. 2-center rotation, not sure if it works. We'll see come playoff time. All right, last tier. The A tier, I have 6 teams. Number 6, the Knicks. Knicks are scary. Just added Bogdanovich and Burks after the All-Star after the trade deadline. Starting lineup is looking fierce. Mitchell Robinson will be back come playoff time, and this is one of Tibbs' grittiest teams. The defense is exceptional. 5, I have the Clippers. Again, another defensive team. The offense is great as well, though. Kawhi and Paul George have been primarily healthy, and they both look awesome. Harden, awesome. The rotation guys, shout out Amir Coffey. He's looked awesome as well. 4, Thunder. I have the Timberwolves 3, but I think that the Thunder are, worthy of that spot as well. Both of these teams are really good, really young teams for the most part. The Timberwolves are definitely older, but just 2 upstart teams haven't really been in this position before, and I'm interested to see what they do. Number 2, I have the Nuggets. Enough said, they have the best starting 5 in the league when it comes to just straight synergy. And number 1 is the Celtics. I want to see those 2 teams face. Celtics have just been blowing the lights out. These months of basketball have just been Celtics. They are 43 and 12, and I'm interested to see how the playoffs shape out with these powerhouses. That's all I have today. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode of Chopping It Up.